Hey, what's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business, the Car Should Be Business channel. My name is Jay, mic check 1, 2, 3. You know, my goal every Tuesday night is to bring you another trade show level business presentation to you wherever you are, because your automotive business deserves the latest in transportation news. And if you're busy, and I know you are, in a minute, if you're watching on demand, I'm going to give the welcome show lineup. You're going to know what to expect. You're going to be able to click on the video time code links below in the video description. Please do use those. Leave a comment. Remember to like, share, tell your friends. Thanks for watching ATI. Used Car Week is one of the most important annual automotive trade shows for business professionals in North America, because of the variety and caliber of attendees, exhibitors, speakers, panel discussions, and networking opportunities available. But if you can't be there, ATI Auto Business is here to help you stay connected with what's happening. And so tonight we have Joe Overby, Senior Editor, Auto Remarketing; Pamela Patton, Vice President, ACV; Will Morris, Director of Business Development at Preowned Auto Logistics; and Michelle Hutchinson, Director of Strategic Accounts at Ship.Cars Now. And of course, Ty Thompson. And we're going to review the evolution happening at Used Car Week. So please, join the live chat. Ask your questions. Share your thoughts. Grow your business. Break out of your vertical. Because it's Tuesday nights live on ATI Auto Business, and I'm your host, Jay. Thanks for joining us again for the show. Hey everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to join us again on a Tuesday night. Man, we were gone all week last week, and it's amazing how, trade shows have a real impact on what's happening and how you feel and who you talk to. So we're going to try to review all of that. So I want to start by saying, please do feel welcome. This is ATI Auto Business. Everybody is welcome here. As you know, we are far out of our original routes of transportation, but we maintain those routes. We continually talk about vehicle transportation and logistics. If you run into us, you know that's true. And please do say hello if it's your first time here. Please do jump in the live chat. Tell us what you're looking for. We are interested in connecting you with others that will help you grow your business. That's the whole point of the live chat, of ATI Auto Business, of everything that we're doing. And we're going to go into industry news. We always do that on Tuesday nights. That's in about 10 minutes already. And there's a lot in industry news about recap and review, and we're going to go Used Car Week crazy tonight. Sharing photos and videos and information. And then we got industry news part 2 with, what's been happening. Good times on Wall Street. We're going to bring in Ty. That leads us into Ty. Ty is going to help begin the transition. We're going to bring in Joe Overby, Senior Editor, Auto Remarketing. Joe is integral to Cherokee Media and Auto Remarketing and Used Car Week. So we're going to put a spotlight on Joe and make him feel comfortable. We're going to welcome him onto center stage, and he'll be our guest. And because Joe, I counted it, Joe hosted 7 panels last week. Well done, Joe. So, yeah, there's Joe's name right there. There we go. I got so excited about talking about Joe. I then put his name on. And what we're going to do is after Joe takes the spotlight, we're going to develop the panel, a full panel discussion. Pamela, Patton, Will Morris, Michelle Hutchinson, very connected. And we appreciate everybody that helps us connect to others. There's so many folks that we had to choose from to try and invite to tonight. Some people couldn't make it, but we're really happy to have the group that we have here tonight. When I was going through the attendee list and looking at how many people I talked to, I don't know if it's 100. Can't be 100, but I think there were hundreds of people there. We're talking business executives, so many companies. Vehicle logistics companies, of course, but dealers, auctions, technology, finance, repo and recovery was there. So, and then there's cocktail receptions, there's panel discussions, networking in the halls, meals, awards, on and on it goes. And so this show, here's what the deal is. I wanted to, as a lean into a show, I do the energy show, and I want to make sure anybody interested in going or that isn't sure what's going to happen gets a real idea of what the experience can really be like. Once this show happens, I go through all the business cards here, right? And that's a lot of work. And then I got the trade show manual, with all the list of exhibits and the advertisers, and I got notes here. I start taking notes, and you sit in a panel and you start taking notes. You start making, you got ideas of stuff. I've got swag now. I've got a hat that I never had before. Danny Zazlowski handed me this hat from VinQ. I've got swag, right? You come back and your suit, you could barely close the suitcase. RCG Logistics had glasses. There is so much to a trade show, the people and information. I could go on and on, but I've got plenty of stuff to talk about and do. So let's do this. I'm going to go into the live chat right after this, so do me a favor, stick around. We'll be right back. Please do jump in the live chat. I want to talk to you.
Why is auto shipping such a challenge? If shipping cars is part of your job, you've wasted time assigning and tracking shipments, waited around while deadlines are missed, and struggled getting anyone to answer your questions. And if you're a carrier moving cars, you've wasted time with bad contact info and shipments that aren't available, waited around for help locating vehicles and receiving payments, and struggled getting anyone to answer your questions. At PAL, we integrate systems for seamless API automations, provide daily email updates, custom portals and reporting, provide ACH quick pays, and we never hide from any questions. Join the auto logistics revolution because it's time to do things better. Preowned Auto Logistics, vehicle transportation made safe, reliable, and easy.
Everybody wants to be part of a bigger story. Auto transport is a vital part of that story. Vehicle reconditioning starts when your transport arrives at the dealership. The story starts with you. For our auto retail customers, as yours, full satisfaction.
Preowned Auto Logistics provides car shippers with experienced professional drivers, a fully insured modern fleet, and friendly, knowledgeable customer service. Visit preownedautologistics.com. Links are in the live chat. I was thinking something during the break too, is that I want to make sure that everybody knows that while we spotlight businesses and trade shows and discussions, and then we also do interviews, we have all kinds of different shows here on ATI, is that you wouldn't believe how much carriers are talked about. by different businesses. And yes, there's expectations, and sometimes we have to clarify on expectations and costs. We're happy to do that. But workers, fixed stops, service, mechanics, repo lot attendees, tow truck drivers, company drivers, carriers, owner ops, they may not be very visible at a trade show, but they're talked about. And again, we like to take it upon ourselves to, if we hear something that, is incorrect, we'll go ahead and set the record straight, or, you know what? Or we learn something. Huh. We do. I heard, I thought this was so fascinating. I'm actually going to share this. I've got my 5 takeaways. Let's do that. Here we go. Jay's 5 takeaways. Ready? All right. Before I go into industry news, I've got 5 takeaways. I asked all my guests tonight to please bring 5 takeaways from the show. I'm going to talk about, for a second, VinQ held a panel and about vehicle buying centers, and I learned that this demonstrates that during a change in the market, if you pivot and build a workflow strategy and process around changes in the marketplace, you can become a thought leader as well as growing your business, and then you can learn from others that do that to possibly tap into new patterns of changing of how your business can improve. For the carrier, okay, so what is the pickup and delivery of the vehicle that you're moving now? And what's the pattern of those vehicle moves to keep up with changes in workflow, rather than just, spinning the dice on central dispatch again? Networking conversation. I heard a senior manager at a fleet management company ask a logistics provider if that logistics provider could communicate with him and his shipper mainly through text. No phone calls, no guessing, no we might have a solution. He wanted to see an actual working text solution, and then he would talk about further business. And until he saw that, he didn't want to. And I was like, wow, that was real. And that was cool too. Again, it's not all glad handing. I mean, there's some hard conversations where you can really learn stuff. For an award, I will say John Manchin, retiring fleet marketing manager from Subaru, the emotion he felt when he shared with the room his retirement and what the industry has meant to him and all the people, I'm telling you, you could feel it. It was amazing. And I thought, wow, we would all be so lucky to feel that way when we retire. He loves these people, and it's a heck of a room of business professionals. Cocktail reception. I'm outdoor by the pool Wednesday evening, and I tell you, I think it's neat when the people get outside, like the ACV fire pit a year ago. The party starts happening, and people are networking like crazy. That is what I love about trade shows. And finally, travel anecdote. Me and Ty, we were on our way to the airport just to go there, and we got a notice of a delay, and so we went to Waffle House, and we posted that we're at Waffle House. We're seeing other people posting what they're doing, where they're at in their journey. I mean, you could feel all the excitement just before people even got there. And so those are my 5 takeaways that I want to share with you. It's really neat when people are going to get together for an event. The before, the during, and the after is something else. There's nothing like it. And so we're happy to share that. So let's do this. Let's go into check. Is it loud? Are we good? All right, cool. Let's go into I said industry news, but we're going into the live chat. What's up? Let's see who's in here first. Ty is in here first. Yeah, Used Car Week 2022, amazing. Thank you, Bill. That's Bill Zadites, Joe Overby, and the entire Cherokee media team. There's Amanda and Dana, Nick, and I know there's more. Jessica and Linda, and it's a large team. So thank you very much, Cherokee Media. We really appreciate it. And we go ahead. Will Morris, hey, happy Thanksgiving. No, yeah, that's kind of cool too. Is that I will say, it is to hit such a great show right before Thanksgiving. It adds to the Thanksgivingness of where personal meets business. So glad you're with us here tonight, Will. Kimberly's here. Welcome to Tuesday Nights Live. What's going on? We are so glad you're here. We really are. It means a lot. And I will say this too. I hope that if you just say hello in the live chat, there were so many great networking opportunities. I'm constantly reminded, even now, as I look back, I sent out the LinkedIn post, I tagged a bunch of people, and before the show, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot him, and yeah, and her, and so sorry if I didn't tag you. There's so many people to keep track of. It's awesome. Chris Chamberlain, what's going on? Happy Thanksgiving, Chris. Got to spend a few minutes with Brian Riker. Oh, that's awesome. At the Baltimore Tow Show. Yeah, I wanted to try and do a show with Brian closer to that. And things got crazy busy because the week before Used Car Week, we were doing Buy Here, Pay Here, NIADA in Austin. And it's been super busy. So that's great. I'm really glad to hear that. Mark Grodeke is here. Superflow Systems in the house. If you've got a Superflow Systems question. And Mark, we're looking forward to, we're going to do a Cars on the Move. Are you ready for this? Okay. Can a carrier be the broker? We're going to do that on Friday, Cars on the Move, I believe. Is that December 2nd? Yeah, I think it is. Can a carrier be the broker? Does a carrier want to be the broker? Well, that's another good question. And then if a carrier wants to be the broker, can a carrier be the broker? What does it take? So we're going to go into some of that. Again, it's not legal advice, but it's our understanding of the process, software you're going to need, ideas, business development. It's going to be a pretty cool show. Looking forward to that. Daryl Hall, Auto Transport. What's up, Daryl? Thanks for tuning in, saying hello, and posting your company name. I love that. Shout out to Hall Auto Transport. Are you looking for a blue chip carrier? Daryl is in the live chat. There's free advertising in the live chat. Moosey, Truckify Inc. Hey, what's up, Moosey? Thanks for saying hello, man. I really appreciate you tuning in, everybody. I see. Okay, more people are tuning in and piling in. In fact, sorry, Pamela. Pamela just found out that there's an hour of J before we do the panel stuff. So I apologize, Pamela. NYC Trafficking. Jay, Ty, I love this place. The place to be. If you're not watching the show, you're missing info you don't get anywhere else. Well, I'm biased here. I agree with you, Ron. I couldn't have said it better. Shout out to Ron at NYC Traffic. Thank you very much. Michelle Hutchinson is here. Ship Your Car Now. What an amazing week. Yeah, Michelle, shout out to you and thank you so much. Michelle, John and Michelle of Ship Your Car Now came up with the idea that Thursday they would just throw some guests at us and we would hit the live podcast stage again. That was awesome. Actually, I think that might have been one of my favorite segments that we did. So thank you for that. And we always want to hear ideas. Stan Deek, Stan at Super Dispatch. I got to hang out with Stan and Beck. I think it was Monday night. That was fun. That was really fun. And, it's good. That's where it's good for the community. Because we don't see each other for a while. We don't get a chance to talk and catch up. We can message through LinkedIn, but it's kind of like having a mask on. And but in person, we get to hang out, have a couple cocktails, and take selfies in front of other exhibitors. It's great. That was fun. Cleto Man, what's up, man? Cleto Man is here. Thanks for tuning in. Cleto Man, I gotta say, I'm excited to get back on the circuit with dispatching live and all that. So looking forward to seeing you in those shows. Let's see here. And yeah, Cleto Man, what is the best way to explain to the customer that it's difficult to pick up the vehicle on the dates around Thanksgiving Day? Well, it's funny that you have to ask that, right? But why don't you do this? Ask them what time they plan to sit down for dinner. That's when you're going to bring it. Right? I'll tell you what. Ask them if they like white meat, dark meat. They're going to do ham, what sides, and then just let me know when you're going to pass the cranberries around, because we're going to come in about 20 minutes right before cranberries. That'll work, Mr. or Mrs. Customer? That'd be great. That's what we're going to do. Or we can do it the Monday after. It's either cranberries or Monday. That's just the way we roll. In fact, I think that's the name of the company now, Cranberries or Monday LLC. You know, try that. Just tell them we make no promises. Okay, and there's Michelle's got. See, this is what we like about Michelle. Michelle has a better answer than me. But yeah, I think it's, and I'm seeing. I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you I do this too. Is maybe I'm sitting in a panel. Truth, I'm in a panel last week, and I'm checking Facebook, and I'm looking at what some drivers are saying on Facebook and stuff. And eventually, we got to get to the point where, like, the fact that you have to explain that you're going to show up during Cranberries or Monday is like, that's shouldn't be happening. There has got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. I don't know the answer. I just bring up the problems. So, Carlos Braxton is here. What's up? ACB Logistics in the house. Oh, and I miss William Damsky is here. Hey, local New Jersey, PA. Cool. That's cool. So then, William, are you a carrier? Are you a broker? Are you a dealer? What's your trade? What's your business, fella? And yeah, and Michelle says, you know, transparent honesty. Yeah, those are, see, like, those are like we got the business words, and then we've got the, you know, the down and dirty, the stuff you see in the reference ID on Central. Like, you know, we'll get to, Dispatching Live is right around the corner. All right, well, this was fun. I got so much to do in industry news. Thanks for jumping in the live chat and saying hello. Right, it's not so easy as a broker to explain to customers. I'm with you. But this gets us back into, how did you know, what was the moment, what happened when you got that lead? Like, did you have to bend over backwards to get that lead, and now you have to make a bunch of promises? Now you might be into talking, you know, going back to business 101, because I'm with you. If your customer is so, like, hard to communicate with about Cranberries or Monday, yeah, I'm probably just going to keep saying it. In fact, I think that's going to write that down. That's the next Cars on the Move. Cranberries. Then I don't know if that's such a great lead. It better be paying well. Man, they better be paying like it's enclosed, you know? Like Drake is driving, right? Because if it's cheap car shipping and they're, like, not willing to listen, what, you got to have the BMW before dinner so you can show everybody around the table? I mean, man, that's expensive. Yeah, we charge a lot for that. We'll be right back.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market, and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the U.S. So you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our Price Watch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
Are you searching for that midnight auto shipping quote and new lead software you can trust? Provide instant accurate quotes online with Transport Auto Quoter and move cars fast with Pro ABD CRM. Visit superflowsystems.com. Mark is in the live chat. In fact, Mark is making martinis. Thank you so much, Mark. Really do appreciate it. Thankful for ATI and all of our industry blessings. Thank you, Mark Rodeke. Happy Thanksgiving to you. All contributions go back into the channel. We got plenty of bills too, so this is a lot. We may have bit off more than we can chew, but you know, we got an ecosystem here. Let's go into industry news. Okay, so this is episode 269 in a row on a Tuesday night. It's Used Car Week Evolution 2022. Now, you know, we've been talking about Used Car Week We've been talking about it for a while, but we love Used Car Week. We were live in San Diego last week, and I encourage everybody, you can still do this. Go to, pesky top, usedcarweek.biz. Go to usedcarweek.biz, and there's an agenda, there's sponsors, exhibitors, attendees list. Check that out. There's so much to it. And like the attendees list, oh man, I don't know how many times I've gone through this list now. It's got to be 4 or 5, and it's a lot of people. But there's a lot of information there. And when you look at the sponsors, oh my goodness, I mean this is a major show. You know several of those names. And it gives you an opportunity to actually talk to these companies. We did talk to several companies for the first time. We had breakfast with people. We met with them in the hallways. We met them at their exhibit booths. And, it's not always perfect, but we say, if you really want to grow your business, connect to the front of the store with the back of the store. Don't just stay in one of those areas. Break out of your vertical and grow your business. We look at the full ecosystem, and tonight's show, we got a lot of services, carriers, auctions, dealers, shippers, brokers. You'll see a lot of that at Used Car Week. It's amazing. I just want to remind everybody, get the AVC, that's Auction V Commerce Dealer app, and you can watch ATI inside the app now. And so you can go to the App Store, Google Play, and get AVC Dealer app. We talked a lot about the Titans of Car Shipping. That was 2 weeks ago. Wow, what a show. And I can't thank, again, Cherokee Media enough, and all of the heads and managers and VPs from the different car shipping businesses that joined us for the show. This was one heck of a way to kick off Used Car Week for us, and it just kind of held through. We've got Auto Sled, Ship Your Car Now, McCollister's, Montway, RCG Logistics, Run Buggy, Preowned Auto Logistics, and I want to say I saw almost everybody. I connected with almost everybody on this screen at the show in a meaningful way. Great conversations and real talk about the industry. Man, what a great show. There's the Waffle House photo. Look at this, man. Oh, you can't see it? There, it's at the bottom. Over 3,000 people saw me and Ty hashtag time to make the bacon at Waffle House. We could have just gone home. That was it. We did our networking. But we got to the show, and Ty was on a panel, Shipping and Storing EVs, Two Truths and a Lie. Dan Kennedy, Michelle Pirog, and Ty were on the panel. There's John Robertson hosting. And here's a view from the other direction. Oh, Stan's in the audience. And, man, this was a really great... Truth? I was like, Truth? The truth is, I'm like, EVs, I don't know. You know what? Hey, standing ovation. This was a really informative panel, and there was actually, get this, there was actually conversations about trucks, carriers, loads, profitability. It happened in this room. I'm not kidding you. And I want to say... I'd like to think that ATI had something to do with it, but you know what? It was great. And I'm sitting over here. I'm taking the photo. I recorded the audio. I need to share that as a podcast. I've just been overloaded, but man, that was awesome. So John had these great slides, and it was a great, man, it really came together. Here's the slide of the presenters, and so he would throw up 3 questions, and then one of them was a lie, and the audience had to guess which one was the truth, which one was a lie. Great job. Great job. It was awesome. So when I talk about the exhibit booth, check 1, 2, mic 2. When I talk about the exhibit booth, the expo hall, I want you to know, this is off the chain, right? There are a lot of people networking, learning. This is where, if you've got a business and you have the ability to bring a booth, you're going to find new business with that many people walking around asking questions. So this is the expo hall, and I want to point this out. I don't think this has ever happened. Let's count how many vehicle transportation logistics companies. You heard me talk about this Tuesday night if you tuned in. You got Accelerated Services, Acertus, ACI Transport, ACV, CT Services, Location Services, McCollister's, Montway, Preowned, Proficient, RCG, RPM, United Road, all in the same expo hall. And we talked to everybody. That was amazing. So, like, here's a photo. Here's Will and Pamela. They're both on the show tonight. And they're in front of this Preowned Auto Logistics NASCAR. Well, you know me. I had to get in. And so, my first time driving, I'm just messing around. I mean, I kind of scrubbed the wall a little. Well, wouldn't you know it? Look at this. I got on the leaderboard. And first place was up for $1,000. Well, I couldn't hang on to that lead spot, but I did for several hours. It was pretty exciting. Meanwhile, Ty is out networking. There's Vaughn Clemens. He was on When the Lot is Full. And there's, Ty listening intently, just ready to, crush his dreams. Okay. And then meanwhile, I'm spotted. This is the VinQ panel. Really, the buying center panel I was talking about. That was awesome. Ty is talking to Accelerated Services, Photobomb, and this is on the live podcast stage. Now, we're live, but I couldn't resist. I had to come around to get a selfie while we were live. Why not? Here's a post I shared, another live on the podcast stage post. That live podcast stage was awesome. That was awesome. So much fun. There's me Tuesday night with Thomas from Ship Your Car Now, right? It's like a slideshow, right? Get your popcorn. We're looking at the wall, and it's the 70s. It's kind of like that. That was amazing. It was really fun. And then Ty is live at the RPM booth that's Sean at RPM. And there's on the podcast stage with Angela of VinQ. Pamela on the podcast stage. Kate from Stella AI, Stella Automotive AI. We're going to learn more about Stella. That's fascinating stuff. If you want to learn more about Stella, I think it's the Thursday show that we did. That was great stuff. And then there's Ty with Olivia Lane from Car Now. Learning a lot with Olivia. Okay, so here is, Will shared this picture. Man, this thing, I don't know, it had like almost 100 likes. Lots of people liking this. Thank you so much, Will. It's great. And Will's on the show tonight. Transportation solutions take time to digest. This is another post. It's an intense conversation. That was after lunch. We sat there, everybody cleared out. That guy's cleaning up dishes, and we're still talking about transportation solutions. Yes, I brought my bell to the show. Everything automotive under the sun. There's Ty and Martin. This was in San Diego, so it was just really nice outside. Ty, I never made it. I never made it out to the walk. I don't know. It was like what was that? River walk? I don't know. I never made it out there. I was too busy networking. And then this is the guy that takes all those great photos. Jonathan, that guy works like crazy. Great. He's an awesome photographer. We see him at almost every trade show. It's great. So I just want to say shout out to Glenn Moore at United Road. He put a post together. I'm actually going to roll the video. I want you to see this video. Yeah, it's a bit of a shameless plug, but again, this is part of the live trade show experience. Here we go.
Hi, this is Glenn from United Road. I am here at Used Car Week in sunny San Diego, talking to people coming by, and my old friend Jay Wertzberger, who is the founder of ATI Auto Business, stopped by. Jay, tell me a few things that you're learning here at Used Car Week.
I like to ask companies, all right, what's your unique value proposition if you get a potential customer in front of you? And this is a question I ask again to carriers, brokers, dispatchers, etc. If you've got a potential customer in front of you, are you ready to pitch your unique sales proposition to them? So I like to try to find out what is every company's unique value proposition.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We've been talking to dealers who've stopped by about our new customer portal that for tracking their vehicle shipments, getting the friction out of the transport logistic type of experience for a dealer, and getting a lot of good feedback on that. I think they're liking that, so that's been keeping us busy here in the booth.
That's good. Yeah, no, and that's actually, I like to, because technology is a part of everything, I want to know what's a company's current technology demo, what are they talking about with potential customers, and I like to see software. And that's one of the benefits of being at a show and going to an exhibit hall, is not only do you get to meet, at this show, because I'm usually online, I'm meeting people for the first time too that I've talked to online. That's a unique opportunity. And then that broadens the business relationship. Plus I get a software demo. So it's a rich experience. I love being able to meet with companies at exhibit halls.
Good.
It's amazing.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Jay.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
All right.
Have a good
I really
rest of the
appreciate
show.
it. You too. Have a great show.
All right.
All right,
Take
cool.
care.
Thanks very much.
All right.
All right, cool. So, really, thank you so much for watching that and taking the time. But I was thinking this while I'm watching, is that you will hear us say the same things at the show, here online, on a Friday. I mean, this is what we're talking about. So, really cool stuff, and I appreciate United Road having me on. That was really neat. And I look forward to maybe more segments. So, if you got a comment, question, idea, send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. That's the original name, and it's now ATI Auto Business, but it's the, we're here for the automotive ecosystem. This is how you get your car shipping business news. And what you can do is you can put it up on the big screen. Uh-oh, here we go. You know that every Tuesday night I got 5 new questions. That's right, step right up. 5 new questions. We're going to try to keep this moving. Here we go. Question 1. How many vehicle logistics companies displayed exhibit booths at Used Car Week 2022? Is it 3, 6, 10, or 13? Did anybody write that down? Pencils down. I just went over this, people. Is it 3? Is it 6, 10, or 13 vehicle logistics companies displayed exhibit booths at Used Car Week 2022? We're going to keep we'll keep the phone lines open just for 1 minute. And thank you guys so much for saying, lots of great stuff in the live chat. I mean, that's the thing, is that I like to keep it moving, and I want everybody to just have this, blast of stream of consciousness. It's of memory review. We've got a whole another hour and a half of this. Is it 6? Is it 10? Is it 3? Or is it 13? The answer is 13 vehicle logistics companies. That's insane. You know how insane that is? How many exhibitors were there? That I don't know. Shoot. I don't have that. Might be 30. But still, if there's more than 20% of the booths were vehicle logistics companies, that's impressive. That tells you something. Here we go. Question 2. What is the most appropriate carrier pay amount to ship a 2012 Toyota Corolla from Brimfield, Massachusetts to Phoenix, Arizona? Is it $585, $845, $1155, or do I hear $1425? Toyota Corolla, Massachusetts. Do you have to go through Buffalo through 7 inches of snow? Feet of snow to Phoenix. Almost went foghorn leghorn there. I said. I gotta slow down. I can tell I'm getting excited. I gotta chill out, man. Go ahead. You guys take it from here. I'm just gonna do one of these. Corolla. Let's see, Massachusetts to Phoenix. I like 1425. Yeah, I know. It was 13. It's insane. I counted it. I go back through the slides if I need to. Oh, shoot, wrong. Let's find out the answer. Going once, going twice, 1425. Is it? Oh, it's 1155. Okay. You'd think it'd be more. But it's, I don't know. We have to look into that. All right. Let's get a data checker on that. Question 3. True or false? EV batteries need to be charged to 100% if being stored for more than 30 days. EV batteries need to be charged to 100% if being stored for more than 30 days. Right? Ty's got it. Right, I haven't watched that yet, but Ty, you would love this. I was going to share it, and I had so much going on, and we're already behind on time. But I started watching that Netflix series about, what is it about? GME? Yeah, GME on Netflix. Wow. I'm almost done with episode 2. That was awesome. EV batteries need to be charged 100% if being stored for more than 30 days. True or false? Michelle says it actually should be more than that for this week. Oh, no, it's who knows? Nobody's guessing. Okay, is the answer. EV batteries need to be charged 100% if being stored. No, the answer, it's false. It's false. Right? It is recommended to charge an EV to 50% to maintain battery life longevity. And this is to help. There'll be that one guy that needs to know this before the end of the year. Question 4. Here we go. And that actually, thank you, John, that actually comes from the shipping and storing EVs panel discussion. There were a lot of great tidbits like that. Awesome stuff. Here we go. Question 4. Question 4? What is the most appropriate carrier pay amount to ship a 2017 Ford F-150 from Grosse Pointe, Michigan to Nashville, Tennessee? Okay. Well, I know this. When you head south, is it 305, 510, 790, 995, or 995? When you go south, it ain't going to be 995. When you go south, you don't make as much. Even though it's an F-150, if you look at that Massachusetts Phoenix load, that was paying under. So I'm going to go under rather than over. I'm going to short this one, Ty. I think I'm going to short the answer. I'm going to go with, I hope it's not 305. I'm going to go with 510. Anybody else? Do you think I can rope anybody in? 1,000 roundup? Oh, Ty's rounding up to 1,000. Well, I like your stuff. That's where you start. This is where you say cranberries are Monday. If it's I actually found a place for that dumb thing. 790. Carlos says 790. All right. Anybody else? Going once. More like 620, so I'll say 790. Ooh, look at that. She's got her like the Ovaltine circle, and it's got the numbers, and that's how you know the rate. Okay. Going once, going twice. It is 510. I didn't know that, but I just used that negative logic live on ATI. It's snowbird season. I know. Well, the rates, we're talking about load boards here, people. Question 5. Carriers are most interested in AI, fax machines, the new central dispatch, or better rates. Guy, I wonder who wrote this one. Is it AI, fax machines, the new central dispatch, or better rates? That's what carriers are most interested in. Really, Jay? Okay. It's fax machines. I knew it. Listen, I really do appreciate you, everybody, tuning in and letting me hold you hostage with my bizarre form of automotive comedy. Do me a favor, stick around, because right after this we got Industry News Part 2, and you're not going to want to miss it. Be right back.
McCollister's has been around for over 76 years, and we're known as providing our customers with high-level, white-glove, concierge-style services. We provide our customers solutions in both transportation, logistics, and warehousing.
We take a very different approach than most auto logistics companies. Our approach is one of being consultative and adaptive to the auto industry. Our approach saves time and money while providing tangible data, which helps improve processes.
McCollister's offers a unique tech solution which we call our AutoVista portal. It's a cloud-based solution. It provides the ability for our dealership partners to access it using any device they want whenever they need.
Most auto logistics companies just want to deliver your car. We want to do more than that. All of those measurements that are important to you to run your business and understand where your costs are, McCollister's AutoVista technology supports that.
It's a car shipping performance data management tool. That's why car dealers love the AutoVista portal by McCollister's Transportation Group. Find out what you're missing. Visit McCollisters.com. Links in the live chat. Mic check 1, 2, 3. All right, here we go. Cool. We're still here? All right. Let's go into industry news part 2. The big news. What in the world is going on with FTX? Now, if you've been under a rock, you don't know. We're just going to mention it because it is part of the Backdrop digital currency exchange platform that, basically took a big dive. Founded in 2019, quickly rose, quickly fell even quicker. Sam Bankman-Fried, 30-year-old founder, became the face of the company. Not long after its inception, crypto began to boom. The price of Bitcoin, which had traded around 10 grand, shot up to 64 grand. And, from there, started to go through a decline. But earlier this month, the balance sheet of crypto investing that was owned by Bankman-Fried, Alameda Research, Alameda Research held a large amount of digital currency created by FTX called FTT, and that was risky. And it held a market value that if it were to drop significantly could lead to insolvency, which essentially was what happened. And after Alameda's balance sheet was leaked by a rival, well, then people wanted to sell off their FTT. The price dropped sharply, so sharply that many customers moved to withdraw their assets. Couldn't. There was a run, and now it's over. And it's all over the news. Sam Bankman-Fried. Yes, Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, if you watch this show, I'm not all about, that's why I'm racing through the story. I'm not all about gossip and BK and all that stuff. But it is important to note that Sam Bankman-Fried is now being compared with Elizabeth Holmes and Bernie Madoff and other stuff. So there's your backdrop. Now let's move into... I'm just going to read the news here. Carvana faces a cash crunch from rising interest rates and high debt. Online used car dealers' sales are slowing, and its borrowing costs are going up. Carvana is rushing to conserve cash. Just laid off another 1,500 people. I know that was in addition to previous... Well, it's a second round in 6 months. There we go. And it could run out of cash in a year. Oh, could run, not this year, but next year. Okay, well, that's good. Fewer companies have been hit harder by interest rates. Now, listen, I'm not enjoying this. This is important, though. But I will say this. Speculation has it that there's more than one dealer that likes this. Just speculating. Meaning, you can't reinvent the used car business so quickly. And OEMs would be wise to pay attention. We'll get there. But Ernie did say, we failed to accurately predict how this would all play out and the impact it would have on our business. There's a carrier on Facebook selling his trailer saying the same darn thing. Carvana stock plunge triggers cascades of warning on Wall Street. The company's share spiraling down. It's a staggering 97% this year. Yikes. Let's keep moving. Used car market in a weird spot. Industry experts warn the conditions that allowed car dealers to sell used vehicles with ease and vigor in 2021 no longer exist. Yeah, that might be relevant to the previous backdrop. And dealers are buckling down to be ready for changes afoot. 2023 is shaping up to be a year of caution and diligence on the used car side, according to dealers, used car related companies. And it's mentioned that this was talked about at Used Car Week. I think there were a couple good panels on this. We'll catch up with Joe to find out more. Some are bracing for what could become severe destruction of used car demand. Still speculation of recession and signs of a more prolonged slowdown are pushing players in the market to tighten their belts. So, right, as if you... I'm sure the carrier... Yeah, okay. I'm going to keep going. Making sure that you kind of batten down the hatchets over the next 12 to 18 months, right? As if we weren't already battening. I'm battening, Jay, says, with the pots and the pans and the water. And that's painful because you want to build and focus on the long term. Dealerships must strive to efficiently source vehicles through multiple channels, and that brings us back to vehicle buying centers and other creative ways to get vehicles. Just want to mention, this was the OEM note that I just made about 1 minute ago. Ford Bronco customers are reporting it's taking months for the automaker to deliver completed vehicles. Many say they've contacted the dealer as well as Ford corporate only to get the runaround about where the vehicle is. This isn't the first time Ford has struggled to get Broncos to respective owners. A tipster, random tipster, who asked to remain anonymous, seemingly fearful that their own Bronco would take even longer. That's how bad it's gotten. You can't even tell. You don't even want your name out there that you're the whistleblower on Where's My Bronco. Said there are Broncos waiting months to get shipped sitting there, while others ship almost immediately. No one at corporate seems to care, and there's a major disconnect at Ford and the shipping carrier. Oh, the joy when we go to the agency model. But they also pointed out to a lengthy discussion over at Bronco. Here's another one for you, Ty. There's another website where people are speculating about their vehicles. Go to Bronco6G.com, where owners are trying to help one another sort out delays. One quote, 9.5 week build here, not shipped yet, no answers from Ford or from the dealer, just says MAP awaiting shipment. Good times. I mean, why buy a car when you can blog about it? I think is what I said. Mazda's going to put $11 billion into electrification. Domino's is launching Chevy Bolt EVs. That's actually kind of a pretty good idea, right? Charge it overnight. It runs on cheese. Okay. Ship.Cars partners with Monk AI. This was news that just came out. Very interesting stuff. Artificial intelligence inside of vehicle inspections. It's an integration in the ePod app. AI inspection brings more transparency to the process and helps carriers by accelerating its inspection time. So this will be interesting to see how this all plays out. I want some feedback, right? First, we're going to bring Ship.Cars on, I believe, and we're going to talk more about it, learn more about it. Then we want to see, we got to do a Cars on the Move. We got to see this in action. The AI inspection app allows users to reduce time, streamline the process, track and improve process, review vehicle damages and add or remove to a list, generate optional AI damage reports quickly, complete AI inspections with crop photos, list damage codes, eliminate misses on damage sheets, build a condition report. I mean, this is awesome stuff. This is happening. Definitely happening. Just another quick note here. Automotive logistics provider launches operations in Mexico. Anybody want to guess? Yeah, you guessed it. It's RPM. RPM has launched operations in Querétaro, city located northwest of Mexico City. They decided to expand to Mexico because they already had bicontinental presence. They were in Europe, North America, US, Canada, and the last piece of the puzzle was Mexico. This is finished vehicle logistics as well as automotive parts. So lots happening with RPM, and nice to catch up with them on the exhibit hall as well. Final piece of news, I just want to mention the FMCSA. I got nervous when I saw this headline. The FMCSA issues an interim guidance on broker bona fide agent definitions, i.e. code word, dispatcher. Yeah, I know. Uh-oh. The FMCSA has finally ruled on this? What did they say? The agency clarified that handling money between shippers and carriers does require broker authority. But where's the dispatcher? Here we go. They clarified what constitutes a dispatch service. Such operations have common features. They work for motor carriers, not for shippers. That's right. They source loads for more motor carriers, and they perform additional services for motor carriers. Note, everything said was that they work for motor carriers. Now, I know we know there's dispatchers that work for brokers too, but if you say that to the FMCSA, God knows what could happen. So let's just let's focus on, the minutia of dispatch services, which are people helping carriers stay loaded, verifying loads, etc. No single factor determines whether a dispatch service is engaged in brokering, but the extent of a motor carrier's control over the operations and its workers is highly significant, i.e. the dispatch service works on behalf of the motor carrier and makes decisions based on the motor carrier's guidance and direction. Oh my God, that was so hard. Dispatch service that neither participates in the arranging of freight nor represents more than one motor carrier is not a broker. Now, they got a problem. They said more than one motor carrier. That is going to be the news. That is going to be... I'm telling you now, I have been barking and screaming that a dispatcher is like a custodian. Just trying to get through the day and help somebody manage and control and improve profitability. The average dispatch service is not part of the Illuminati. Okay. So anyways, whatever. If you see this, you're dealing with an ATI Auto Business podcast. Get the podcast. It's ATI Auto Business. That's what you're looking for. And if you've got a question, go ahead and call or text Ty 417-483-2764. Oh, by the way, if you've got one of them pesky likes laying around, so go ahead and leave it in the live chat. Please do leave a like. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Okay. It is the Car Shipping Business channel. I'm going to try and slow down. What we're going to do is we're going to change gears here. We're going to shift it down. We're going to bring in, it's going to be cool because we're going to bring in Ty, and then we're going to bring in Joe. We're bringing in the panel. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to have some more ELD punch. So do me a favor. Stick around. Right after this, we'll be live with Ty and Joe Overby. Get ready, buddy. You're just a few minutes away. We'll be right back. Ship Your Car Now presents Integrated Automotive Transportation Solutions. When your car buying customers are on your dealership website shopping for vehicles, they can easily find an instant shipping quote. By entering simple information, first name, last name, email, and phone number, delivery zip, delivery state, and clicking the button, Get Your Shipping Quote. Choose from express shipping, enclosed transport, and proceed to checkout. Review the order summary. Enter the delivery street address and city and click Next. Simply enter your credit card information just like any other online shopping cart. And when you are ready, click Review Your Shipping Order. Check your shipping order one more time and choose Proceed to Checkout. Your delivery is all set. If you want to ship your car now, go to Ship Your Car Now. It's a car shipping experience. It's a full suite of vehicle shipping services for all types of businesses. That's why Ship Your Car Now offers trusted carriers, good paying loads that pay fast. Visit shipyourcarnow.com. Links in the live chat. Okay, so here we go. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring up Ty. Ty is going to help me introduce Joe. Now, Ty, do me a favor, buddy. I don't see you in the... he's at the... Here comes the doorbell. Let's go ahead and jump in. And Ty, I just went ahead and let you in here. He's getting things set. He's getting it all ready. It was a busy week. There was so much going on that I think he literally just got off another plane and he's getting set. There's suitcases everywhere and swag. Ty, can you see me and hear me okay?
Yeah, I can. How are you? Sorry.
Right? I'm good, man. It's
well, it
crazy.
gets worse. Remember
Okay.
the stop we had there on the way back home? What was that? The San Diego airport, we checked in the wrong gate. Remember that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Oh.
And then we got mad because we had to go to the other gate and do TSA again.
And you were... Ty actually said he was proud of me. I don't get mad. Ty does, right? But I was mad, dude. Why was I mad? What happened? I want you to tell. Yeah.
Anyway, I thought, well, I'll grab my laptop out of my backpack and I'll set it right here so I can see the live chat while we do the show. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you. I mean, you're.
Oh,
you know
hold
what?
on.
Oh,
One sec.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean,
Sorry.
and so I can see you and hear you.
No,
so you're good.
hold on.
But, yeah, I know. All right, mic check 1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
you got it. Take charge for a second. Take the
Station
wheel.
identification. Yeah, I took the wheel. I got the wheel. So I'll tell the story. So we're at the this is crazy. Okay, I mean, or you know what? I'm the guy that always asks the dumb questions. But we go to the San Diego airport, and we've already had flight delays and all that stuff. I don't know how many flight delays we had last week. We go to the San Diego airport, and we're at gate 14. We're at gate 14. Okay, you can see me, you can hear me. We're at gate 14, and we go in. We go to Einstein Bagel. We're having a bagel. We're having coffee. We're talking about this. We're so excited. There's all this stuff going on. Guess what? We're in the area. We're in like gate through 6. We're at gate 6 through 10, not 10 through 14 or whatever. Which in any other normal airport, any other airport in America, the world, what you do is you just go down a hallway past a drinking fountain, and now you're at the right gate. Not in San Diego. In San Diego, if you're in the wrong gate area, you got to go back out and go back through TSA and get to your right gate.
Right. Well, so where it gets better is the first gate we go through.
I'm still mad.
Yeah, nobody asks to pull your laptop out of your backpack. It's okay. So we go running, hurry, go. We're gonna miss the plane. We go through the second TSA. And I assume just because of the last one that I was at the same airport, you just leave your laptop in your backpack. Well, sure enough, Ty gets pulled over by TSA. Hey, we got something in your bag. What is this? Oh, it's a laptop. All right. So anyway, I'm getting ready for tonight's show. I'm going to put my laptop up so I can see the live chat and maybe interact with the gang, which is hard for me to do anyway. But guess where my laptop is, Jay? It's not in my backpack. It's at the San Diego TSA.
No.
I just now figured it out. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, that's enough of that story. Let's get on to Joe.
Whoa.
I'm excited to have Joe here tonight.
Wow, that's wild. Now that's a wild story.
Yeah, for real.
That is a wild
And remember,
story.
I was mad. We were both mad, and then I went really mad. And
wow, now
we're just trying to hurry up to get to the deal. Now
that's crazy.
I'm going to call San Diego. We're going to have a talk.
Call San Diego. Well, they should have it. But and I'll tell you what. You know what? In automotive, you know who helps make sure that you know which gate and your laptop and all that? The dispatcher. But what do we need?
Don't get Jay started on dispatch.
Oh, don't get me started. Okay. All right.
I missed the email about the 5 takeaways, but I thought about it for a minute. I can go like 3 or 4 pretty quick.
Well, I tell you what. Joe,
skip it and go to Joe. Let's go to Joe.
I know Joe's on it. Joe, yeah, and it's time. We're going to bring in Joe. All right,
bring Joe in.
Let's bring in Joe. He'll get us. Joe always fixes all the problems. Okay.
Joe,
so here comes Joe. Yes, thank you so much, Joe. All right,
Joe's got my laptop.
Here we go. Joe has the laptop. All right, Joe. All right, here comes Joe. I just let Joe in, and we're going to hope that Joe is ready. Meaning, like, it's like Pamela. When Pamela found out right before the show that she's got to listen to me talk for an hour. You imagine what she was thinking? She's probably wishing her laptop was in San Diego. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here on center stage, Joe Overby. Oh wait, no, let me get those pesky graphics. We're gonna do this again. We're going again. Take 2. We have Joe Overby with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, here on ATI Auto Business. Take 2. It's Joe Overby, senior editor, Auto Remarketing. Joe, can you see us and hear us? Okay.
I can see you. You guys look very handsome, and you sound perfect.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you. That was really nice.
Thanks, Joe.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Joe, very much. All right, Joe, do us a favor. For anybody that doesn't know, please say hello. Tell us more about you, and where do you think we're headed tonight?
So I'm Joe Overby. I'm senior editor of Auto Remarketing, and I'm part of the conference team at Used Car Week. And specifically, I kind of help with the putting together the agenda and moderating panels. And we did, for the first time this year, we had our podcast stage, which both of you guys were kind enough to participate on. And we had about a dozen podcasters out there this year hosting their shows on our stage. And, Used Car Week is definitely an all hands on deck type of experience. And so, 1 minute I might be checking someone in, and the next minute I'm moderating a panel or carrying heavy boxes wherever they tell me to go. So it's a fun week, and it's a week of wearing many hats.
I'm going to jump in and say this. So as I'm getting ready for tonight's show, I got a ton. Like, here's my checklist. Okay, just for tonight's show. what in the world is your checklist like for
Oh,
used
gosh.
car week? Is it crazy?
It is. So it kind of starts. It starts, back in, we have now we've spaced out our conferences to where we have 3 automotive conferences throughout the year. So, aside from basically the holidays, we're always planning, the next conference. So used car week, we really start getting into gear in terms of planning it right after for this year, it was right after our Canadian conference in June. We open up call for speakers, and from an agenda perspective, we, me, Nick Zulovich, Justine Mirsky-Blank, and Bill Zadites are our lead. We got to sit down and start thinking about the agenda, how we want to set it together. And that's where the initial, and meanwhile, the ad team is selling Expo call booths, selling, sponsorships, that kind of thing. So the planning for it really goes back to the summer. And then from a, logistical standpoint, we're setting up panels, getting things ready all throughout the summer and early fall. And then really, from my perspective, my checklist starts, a few weeks out from the conference. So this year I moderated 7 panels, and I did 7 conference calls with those folks, and just kind of going over logistics, preparing questions, letting them know what topics we wanted to talk about, getting their feedback. And then, I usually send out to those panelists a kind of a loose script of, hey, this is how it's going to go. Jay, I'm going to ask you this question. Ty, I'm going to ask you to follow up on this question, and blah, blah, blah. And I do that for every panel a few weeks out. And then, of course, there's the whole, the regular logistics of travel, which is, booking flights and hotels and packing lists and, oh, did I forget my toothbrush and that kind of stuff, which, we could all relate to. But the laundry list is quite long for used car week, but, it's definitely well worth it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ty, please.
Well, I heard 3. So I know of 2 for sure. I think the one I was missing was Canada. Can you tell us the 3 real quick?
Yeah, sure. It's so in the way we've typically done it, we've shifted around this in 2022. We had the Auto Intel Summit, which is very similar to what you might have seen at the Navicon at Used Car Week, and that's in Raleigh in April. And then during the late spring, early summer, we had the Auto Remarketing, or it was called Auto Remarketing Canada and Women in Automotive. Now we've combined it to be Canada's Used Car Week, and it's a similar format as what we just had in San Diego last week. And then in the fall every year, in the Southwest, we have Used Car Week.
Wow. So the FinTel, can tell us about the FinTel, because we might have some people watching that might be interested in FinTel for 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of a mix between, it's all of the, long and short of it is, how is technology impacting automotive? And so it gets into the investment side of it. It gets into the, the startups. What are the companies that are looking to change automotive? There's a heavy auto finance portion of that, but it's also, in the fintech space, but there's also, digital retailing, just any way that the car ownership, the car usage, the car buying, car financing has been changed through technology. And then a big piece of that is the money, the investment behind it. And Steve Greenfield, who was our partner with Navicon at Used Car Week, has also partnered with us for the Auto Intel Summit. And we have a program where we kind of work with him on it and get recommendations called the Emerging 8, where we look at emerging companies in the space. And we get a lot of companies, a lot of people that come to that might not necessarily have gone to Used Car Week. The folks from, there's a company in where we are in Raleigh called Spiffy, which does a lot of, they started off as a mobile car detailing for consumers, and they shifted to B2B, and they do fleet management as a service, and they've added, so they're a tech-focused company based here. We kind of got to know them through them coming to the Auto Intel Summit, and they're right in our backyard. So it's a lot of companies that are new to the space, and we had IBM at our first one. So it's companies that may not necessarily be that, traditional automotive companies, but are kind of in the tech periphery, for lack of a better word. And
nice.
I should mention that one. Pulled my notes here. That one this year is going to be in Raleigh, April 18th through 20th. And that is like peak weather season in Raleigh because it's after the pollen, it's before the heat. So it's like, if you really want to go to a nice conference and also have great weather, April 18th through 20th in Raleigh is the Auto Intel Summit.
April 18th through 20th in Raleigh, but which, by the way, if it's the same location, beautiful location and beautiful people, which I want to make a point. I really enjoy going to your conferences because so far I don't think since I've been going, I don't think I've gone to a Cherokee media that was at Vegas, right? Is that fair? Am I right?
Red Rock.
We do.
Red Rock.
We go.
Awesome.
Red Rock, yeah, it's not on the strip. It's out in
right.
I've been a couple miles off the strip. It almost feels like you're in Arizona, really, but it
didn't have the casino feel.
Exactly.
That's why.
Yeah,
you're right.
We try to mix it up a good bit.
It's off Vegas,
right?
Yeah.
We try to mix it up a good bit and have it. This coming year in 2023 and 2024, we're going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona. Glad you're excited.
What is he doing?
We'll be back to Red Rock the following year, and then we're going to be back to San Diego in 2026. But we always do try to go to somewhere in the Southwest, which is always nice. In mid-November where it's nice and chilly over here on the East Coast.
Wow! As far as San Diego, I just want to say San Diego was awesome. That was an awesome venue. That was awesome.
Yeah, good job.
That was really great. Yeah.
Well, one of my takeaways for sure is and that appreciation. Really, it's you do help people feel welcome. So anybody watching this, you're like, man, you guys talk about this stuff all the time. I mean, that's all Jay and Ty talk about.
Oh, I know, man. Our carriers are so sick of this.
But really, you make everybody feel welcome. The guests, the attendees, the exhibitors, my experience, and talking about me and Ty, but I've always felt very welcome by you guys, and the people that are around you are just so kind and very gracious. So just really amazing. You guys do incredible shows, and that's one of our goals, Ty and Jay's goals. We want more people to come to these and to experience what we experience with you guys.
Well, that is music to my ears. That's the goal. That's really. I appreciate you saying that because that's what we want. We want to be open and welcoming to everybody. That's our goal.
Yeah. So back to the planning, Jay. I know Jay's got some more questions for you. I just asked the silly one.
No, I always take the wheel over, and I feel bad about it. So, but I do want to say this is that I have found, many of the shows that I do, I don't need to write any questions. But I have found that if you've got heavy hitters and CEOs, you need to have some questions. Yeah. And that is a lot of work. I mean, just that last panel, it was one of your last panels you had, I know Steve Kapusta was there and George Shamoon from ACV, right? I mean, if you're at that level, my gosh, how much prep goes into that panel?
It's a good bit of prep. The fortunate thing is those guys make it easy. They've done so many interviews. They do. If you think about it, most of those folks on that panel, all but maybe one or two, are with publicly traded companies. So they do. They take questions every quarter from investors, and they go to conferences all the time. So they're used to this kind of thing. So there's really not anything you can ask them that they're not going to be prepared for. And, each of them have very good, public relations staffs that are, make sure they're prepared and make sure that we're prepared and kind of give us guidance on what kind of what's going on with their companies and that sort of thing. But it is a good bit of preparation. I mean, I think you kind of have to, especially with any panel, you really want to ask questions that are unique to that specific person. Not just we do some round robins where we ask everybody the same question, but I think one of the questions that I specifically asked George was about acquisitions and when it makes sense to build versus buy in terms of technology. And that's because over the past 2 or 3 years, I've observed ACV going and buying these companies or building tech, and just curious about it. So it really is just sort of taking stuff that I've observed through reporting and asking about them, in person, but trying to make it unique to each individual that I ask.
Well, you just hit upon something there, is that so that required you to do a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that research and constant absorption of information that allowed you to interact in such a meaningful way.
Absolutely.
And what I'm laying down here is that this is what we talk about. If you're looking to grow your business, to build relationships, you're going to have to research maybe beyond what you expected. But it will come back around and help you when you're in that moment and you're looking, I saw you ask some of those questions live, and it was some pretty good follow-up. It was good stuff, because you want to dip a toe in reality, but you're walking a line.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I remember, I think we were in Raleigh. I got a chance to pull you off to the side, and I'm like, hey, do you ever get really nervous?
Did you ask him right before he went up on the stage? Good thinking.
Honestly, I get more nervous, and I can't remember who I was talking to about this. If I were to go and talk to a room of 40 people, I would be more nervous talking to a room of 40 people than 400 people. Something about having more people there and being on the stage and the bright lights makes it less nervous for me. But if I'm going and having to kind of look everybody directly in the eyeballs and I can see every single human, that makes me a little bit more nervous. But no, and I think at the beginning, like when I started doing this, 10 years doing panel moderation about 10 years ago, I had to get the nerves out, but with enough practice, I've settled down a bit, I think.
Yeah. Well, it is just anybody that's watching. I mean, this is a big deal. I mean, you're talking CEO, president, founder, big guys, big companies. Joe's up there on the stage just blowing right with them. I mean, doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, really cool. I would get nervous. That's why I saw.
Well, I want to say this. So 7 panels, and there you're on stage. Are you having fun?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's adrenaline, I think. I never was great at sports. I love playing them, but it's the same kind of adrenaline you get from sports when you're in the heat of the moment of the game and you're playing. You get that adrenaline and it kind of pushes you through. So yeah, I being up on stage and doing the panel moderation is a lot of fun.
Wow. Well, and that goes back, you were using the word logistics when we were talking about how do you put these together. And I'm thinking part of the logistics was having these meetings and who's saying what and around. Is that kind of what you're referring to, logistics?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. It is, the panelists that were up there on stage with me, they knew ahead of time kind of the questions I was going to be asking them. And I did get their input on certain questions. And in fact, the Holly Vollant, one of the questions I asked her, she just a perfect, I used it in a couple different panels, but she talked about how, in one of our prep calls, she talked about how disruptors have become partners. And I used that as a line of questioning in a couple of different panels. So props to her for coming up with that during one of our prep calls. So yeah, it is a lot of that, they're pretty quick calls, ahead of time, but it's really just to give a sense of how the conversation is going to flow and, how, even down to the details of, okay, you want to be here 15 minutes early, get mic'd up. We're going to meet in the front left corner of the room. Bill's going to bring us on stage. I'll introduce you guys and we'll get rolling. So yeah, it is a lot of hand-in-hand logistics kind of just to get ready.
And then there's the human element.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes time. It can take a few minutes to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And that prep call helps break that ice. I always do prep calls with, well, we had a long prep call earlier today. No, we didn't. But I do prep calls. Well, we know you. We see you at the show. But for anybody that, if I'm going to have somebody on the show, that I've never met before, yeah, that brings me anxiety, right? I want to at least know somebody a little bit before we do a discussion, so it really helps. Let's do this as we move into camera one. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Okay, Will, Pam, Michelle, get ready. I'm about to ring the doorbell, and you're going to join us here live up on stage. All right, here it goes. I like to give a kind of a moment's notice. It's not a lot of notice. Here we go. We're going to, we are, if you're just joining here now, we have Joe Overby live with us. We're bringing in Michelle and Pamela and Will, and this is Used Car Week Evolution. This is my new series where we take time to enjoy what we just did, Used Car Week. All right, so Pamela was up here first. Pamela, please say hello.
Well, I guess good evening to most of our time zones that are listening, right? So it's I don't have good lighting in my house at night. It's everything's dim, so I probably look a little different. But
nice, you had an hour to light it, so that's good.
And there's that.
All right, Michelle from Ship Your Car Now is here. What's up, Michelle?
Hey, shout out to Pam. I just want to say hi. Good to see you.
Isn't that cool? We're still here. We're all in San Diego. We're actually at the TSA. We're here.
I know, right? We're all still at the airport. Just kidding. We're not really home yet.
Will, Preowned Auto Logistics, how are you doing?
Everything is great. Good to see everybody. Hello, ladies. Good to see everybody. So,
hello.
Pam, that picture. Who's that picture of Pam and I? That was a great one. All the years we worked together, we never got a picture like that. So whoever took that one, was it on your phone or was it mine?
It's on my phone. I have it. I'll text it to you.
I don't know, Pam. You were kind of flame at this show. Like all the pictures and stuff, they all came out so good.
It's all that previous photography background. You know, you can work some of the angles, right?
The shadows.
All good stuff.
Really good. All right, I've got, on the back burner, I've got the 5 takeaways, which we can do at any time. But, and we didn't have, well, let's slow down for a second. This is, we just had Used Car Week last week, right? And it's, I don't know, who wants to go first? I mean, how do you begin? I'll say this. And here's my picture of me in the race car. Everybody got one of these?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is when you race a car. That's me concentrating to beat my previous time and get back on the leaderboard. Never happened. But I went through my stack of business cards. I sent out a bunch of emails, LinkedIn messages. Who's in the middle of doing this right now or doing it tomorrow or what's going on with that? Who's going to go first? Michelle.
Yeah, of course I'm going to talk. I mean, come on. I'm still trying to catch up with all the follow-up, with all of the great connections that I made. Not only did I have a chance to really hone in and develop those relationships that for people I've already met, but again, I got to meet some amazing and incredible people. I mean, I don't think Pam and I would have met out, even though like Ship Your Car Now and ACV. I called you ABC, by the way, on the panel. I was so embarrassed.
Don't you hate that stuff?
I didn't hear it, but others did. I heard about it later.
She heard about it.
I was so embarrassed. But I these kind of shows don't give you the opportunity for like Pam and I or Will and I to really. I mean, we're friends. Like Will and I have been connected on LinkedIn, and I just had an opportunity to meet with Pam, and it's like, it's so great because these shows allow you to just meet some of the most amazing people and develop these even better relationships and with some just really great people. Even, Will and I might work for competitive companies, but, we really get to like bounce ideas off each other and just, really share that information between the two of us. And it's just, for me, I am all about relationships no matter where they come from. So I love these shows. So yeah.
I guess I'll go next.
Awesome.
We'll do ladies first.
Yeah, cool.
For me, I was there last year, Joe, when it was when we were at Red Rock. And it was a big year. I was winning the award that Michelle won this year. So it was very symbolic for me to be there and watch her be on the panel this year. But I'll tell you what, San Diego was just it was a really unique place for us to do this event. And again, another year past COVID. So I think we had record numbers as far as in attendance, at least that's the way it felt. But it just, the networking and to watch the dealers learning from each other. It wasn't just about the vendors and what we can bring to the table, whether it's, your auction space. There was a lot of, repo companies, you had logistics and transportation. So it was amazing. In fact, the only negative I'll say about the event is there was sometimes panels happening or workshops happening, and I wanted to be at two things at the same time, but you can't. So it's, I had to split myself. How do you do that? So there's one that I missed, but that would be the only thing. I wish you could attend everything. So.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
truth.
That is true.
And it happens every show. I mean, I don't know what you do. It is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny because there was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Will.
No, Ty, finish up. Go right ahead.
Well, as Jay and I were talking, like, man, there was something. We were talking about schedule and who's going to go to which one, and
right.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We always split up, and I'm like, I know when it's auction day because the whole auction crowd starts rolling in, right? And you see the accelerated group, the America's Lady. You see all that. It's got to be auction something going on today, and that's. So just kind of getting to know the different groups. That's kind of my indicator, and I always love it when the auction people show up. So.
I'll just jump in and say, but I'll never get over because there was that show, was it a year ago? I don't remember. And Ty's like, oh, man, Chip Perry, and you missed it.
Chip Perry, yeah.
Great.
Chip Perry. And every time I see Chip Perry, I say, hi, Chip Perry. I got to be scaring the guy.
Yeah, and I'm like, I wasn't there, Chip.
I will say, Jay, as far as one of my takeaways for the cocktail hours, that was probably one of my favorite conversations was I did have a one-on-one with Chip, and I had never met him in person. So
there it is.
Just to hear, where he is, where he's kind of seeing things. And again, he's got many years of seeing where the industry's gone. It was refreshing that he's still trying to be a part and do things today. So.
Will
cool.
Morris.
So, Pam mentioned takeaways, and I think that's something, Jay, that you wanted to touch on, that clearly, and Joe addressed it before, about the panels. Mm-hmm. If there was a singular takeaway for me for that show, and I'd never been to Used Car Week before, I'd done several NADAs and so forth, was we call it like sometimes church and state, or I'll call it brick and mortar versus digital. I watch in the big room, the Seaport room, watching the executives from the two different camps of auctions. To me, that's one of the biggest takeaways, that it was, if you listen to both camps, you'd be convinced to go one way or the other. Very compelling arguments on both sides of the auction equation. In terms of networking, I think, and I got to give Dana Rogers and Jeremy Louisa, Mike Senna, Kevin Lombardi, a lot of kudos from NASCAR, right, from PAL, from bringing in that NASCAR. We had an attraction that was amazing. Everybody was coming over towards our area. But one thing stuck out with me in terms of networking. A guy by the name, I got to look it up, I kept his card, Keith McCrone. He was from Dealer 101. I don't know if anybody met him. Okay, he's from out in the West Coast, and he's doing training and recruiting and stuff, right? But in terms of networking, we connected. We had some similarities. If I have ever heard a better elevator pitch than that guy's, you got to listen to him. Call Keith McCrone and listen to what he's doing. I didn't know a Dealer 101. So in terms of networking, that was a huge takeaway for me. The luncheon awards, there were two for me. Obviously, my colleagues, Carrie Harris and Pam, she joins the sorority, and I know Michelle as well, Women in Remarketing. Congratulations. So big kudos to Carrie. And Jeremy Luisos as well, who brilliant young guy, 40 under 40 award this year. So that was a big takeaway for me. The receptions you asked about. I went to one off campus. Penny Wana and Pierre Pons invited me to a dinner at Lou and Mickey's, this old restaurant that's been in San Diego since 1945. It wasn't upstairs or anything, but I sat at a table with a guy from Arizona. I got to look at this. A couple from Washington State, another auction owner from Louisiana, an auction owner from Indiana, and here I am from Connecticut, right? You could not believe, there's probably 25, 30 people that Penny and Pierre had there. the similarities that we had together. So the cocktail reception and a networking opportunity and that fraternity or sorority that exists was amazing. And then finally, the travel anecdotes. I'm looking at Pam because I mentioned to her, it's like, how the hell is everybody going to get back to Buffalo, my former ACV colleagues?
Totally.
And but on the way out, Pam, I don't know if I told you this, I'm coming through. I had to connect from Hartford to Detroit. You can't fly from San Diego to Hartford to San Diego to go to Detroit. And I'm standing there and I run all the way down. You know, the Detroit Terminal A is the long straight thing. I'm walking all the way down and just about get there. And who's there but Mike Pecora and Maura Dugan from ACV. And I saw these guys and I knew I would see some of my former ACV colleagues, but I see them. And we had the niceties and saying, oh, it's good seeing you. And maybe, have a great show. Maybe we'll see you. Right. And who do I sit next to on the plane all the way to San Diego? But Pecora. Brilliant engineer. I picked up a few things from him. So, and then on the way back, of course, did they all get to Buffalo, Pam? Everybody got home apparently, right?
All the flights were canceled, and so some of the team ended up getting a not staying in the hotel due to cost. They got an Airbnb and just stayed for a couple of days because there was no way to even get back the next day. I mean, it was that kind of a scenario. And then some of them flew different ways, but it was rough. I got stuck in Detroit just for about 2 hours, and it really wasn't terrible, but I was there for a little bit longer than normal, but it's okay. It's all good.
But to Joe, to you and your team, kudos, fantastic
Thank you.
show. I said, as I was summarizing for my team and sent it out to them this morning and so forth, and a little bit of a recap Friday. Great show. I can't look forward enough to the next used car week. So
thank you very much. And and Will, to your point on the auction panel there, last year we had that panel actually together, and there was 9 people on that panel, and it was a mix of auction. It was a mix of the digital and kind of more brick and mortar, and it was a great panel. But it was like, I think 9 might be too many to have on one panel, so let's try to split it up. How do we split it up? And so we thought, okay, how about traditional versus digital, and it turned out well. As you mentioned, a lot of the arguments or points they were making were enticing on both sides, and so I thought that was that worked out well, and was really enjoyed talking to both groups.
Well,
we can't hear you, Ty.
on mute.
He's not muted though. I don't know what that was. That was
Hard
weird.
to keep that guy on mute.
Can you hear us now? That was
No,
strange.
He's looking at it. So
I don't know.
There were a lot of other great panels too, like Black Book, Alex from Black Book, like Mike Pecor from ACV, a smart guy. How smart is that guy, Alex from Black Book? I mean, to command all that data, right? The VinQ thing was interesting. Danny from VinQ's presentation was really good. I did try to sneak away from the NASCAR thing in our booth to get some of those breakaway panels. They were fantastic.
So, hey, I want to say this because I wrote this down as well, and I love to share my cheat sheet. Okay, so I was telling Ty, this is interesting, and this has never happened before, where I spent way more time in the expo hall than I did in the panels. And, it depends on, what you're looking for, what's your business about, right? It just so happens my business is, right, finding more companies to connect with. And I just wrote down, this is kind of crazy. I think it's close. Expo hall versus panels, I'm going to go 85%, 15%. Now, that's rare, and I've never done that before, but, I mean, I couldn't get enough of talking to people. There's even a photo where Ty is standing next to a guy from RPM, I think it's Sean Baltazar, but talking to Charmin at Accelerated Services booth. We started doing that. We started mixing companies at booths. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's the goal, really. I mean, it really is a choose your own adventure week. The fact you got more out of being in the expo hall, making those connections, and that is awesome. And some people, there were probably people who spent 100% of their time in the sessions, or 100% of their time, or 50% of their time in side meetings. And so, that's what it's designed to be, is to have, to really make it what you want it to be. And so that is great to hear. And our exhibitors will be glad to hear that you spent so much time in there and that you enjoyed yourself.
Or not. But but no, and it's funny because 3 years ago I did sit in more panels than I did exhibits. Ty.
Yeah, well, I can vouch for what he's saying.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I've never seen Jay not in the conference room or the panel
real.
taking notes. I mean, I'm like, dude, come here. Let me show you what's going on out here. And by the way, that's what Used Car Week, Joe, Bill, and the gang. I mean, that's what really I think. Joe just put words to it. You don't feel a pressure from anybody to be anywhere. Hurry up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That was that, and that's cool. Joe just said it. Joe summed it up. That's true. So, and I'm glad you backed that up too, Joe. Thank you. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
I think what Michelle said at the outset too was that there's a lot of co-opetition. You know, I heard a guy say that once, that though we can compete, we collaborate with each other. We're all sharing the same customers, really, right? And we have to service them as a community. And so, Michelle, I really appreciate what you said there. That's important, and I think Used Car Week was a reflection of that. So I didn't see any pushing and shoving. I saw mostly smiles, right?
Yeah.
Pushing and shoving.
Well, can I jump in, Jay, and do my little 5 takeaways?
I love it. Please take it away. Yeah. Great.
I wanted to just say that, like for me, one of the greatest things that I did probably the whole week was the Women in Remarketing panel. What a great group of women. Appreciated everybody who attended. Loved the topics that they brought up, the importance of mentoring. I think that is just huge in our industry. And I think we need to keep growing that. And I think it's super important that no matter how long you've been doing what we're doing, that you continue to look for those mentors. Like I said earlier, some of my new connections, I can't wait to pick Pam's brain. I'll probably pick Will's as well, because I know he's been in the industry for a long time, so can never stop. And then we talked about a lot of like technology, not just within my industry and shipping, but across the board. So there was a lot of representation there. And then just balancing the work and personal life, to hear how these women have really excelled through, especially COVID, in balancing, you know, working from home and raising kids. And I think putting it out there, you know, how much we as women even take on because of the fact that we do a lot of parenting and homeschooling and things like that. So that was awesome. Being on a panel like that was amazing. And networking, I talked about that earlier. These shows are fantastic for that. I encourage anybody who's even watching this podcast to go to one of these shows and meet these people that you're on LinkedIn with, meet these people that you watch on these podcasts and stuff, because these people are amazing in person. Amazing. Award luncheons. Well, I'm just going to say, you know, Women in Remarketing.
Enough said.
Look at that.
Wicked
That's
plug.
awesome.
So I was super honored, humbled. You know, you find out who nominated you as far as people within your own industry, your clients and things. And I have to give a shout out to Gavin, our founder, who got awarded with 40 under 40.
Yep.
So proud of him for that. Cocktail receptions. Look, man, it's all a blur. That's all I'm going to say. And then travel, we have a funny little story. So John Robertson, our VP, we flew out together. Unplanned, we ended up in the same row. He was in the aisle, I was in the window, and a guy sat right between us. And I asked him if he'd switch seats with me, like, who wants the aisle or who wants the middle seat, right? Nobody wants the middle seat. This man would not move. I swear, though, I saw John pass him a 20 just to stay in between us.
Oh, yeah.
That's a funny story.
Totally. It's so John.
So John.
Great recap. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Great. And then, I mean, with what you said about women remarketing and stuff, and that's what, in just her takeaway, she hit all that. She hit the emotion, the excitement. She confessed. It's all there.
Yeah.
No, the cocktail receptions are so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to have
I
one.
will.
Where, yeah.
I have one thing I want to add as far as the luncheons. I did attend all of them, and they were all great. Different foods, all that good stuff. And of course, different people coming and sitting at the tables, because you could sit anywhere you wanted. You know, to your point, Ty, you said it. It's nobody feels, oh my gosh, can I not sit here? I have to sit with only people in my company. It didn't really matter. But who was it? It was John. Was it John Manchin from Subaru that won the Lifetime Achievement Award? And again, I don't know enough about him personally, but when he got on stage and just the emotion, and at this point, you don't understand, other than he's winning this award, which was a big deal, but to find out that his son was in the audience and it surprised him and flown in. And I mean, you know, the tears out of everybody, you can feel it. There was one coming out of my eye and I thought, this guy really brought it. And it was amazing to see. Everybody gave him a standing ovation. It was amazing.
I don't know him and I felt it.
Exactly. That's my point.
What?
Subaru was lucky to have him before his retirement for sure. So good
stuff. He's been a partner with us on these conferences for a long time, and that was going to be one of my takeaways, just the fact that his son surprised him, and it was kind of unique. I remember I was talking to him, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday at one of the receptions, and he knew that he was getting the award, and he was excited about it, and he was like, oh yeah, go play golf tomorrow and all that, and but he didn't know that his son was coming, but we did. And so it was kind of like, oh, this is going to be great. He's just the most charming, nice man. And he's been, he's been on the panels. We've had him up there for years and years, and he's just been a generous and kind friend to our company and really to the whole industry. And he just well deserves. So yeah, that moment I think was touching for everybody. He's such a great guy, for sure.
Wow.
And he was able to finish his paragraph. I mean, I would have been, my knees would have buckled.
Just, I think we're all speaking the same language, though. It's just like the people in our industry are truly amazing individuals. I don't know if construction workers and I don't know, whatever other conferences are out there, but I wonder if they have the same experiences that we all do, because within this car business industry, the people I've met are just so warm. They're so welcoming. They're just real people, and it's phenomenal. I can't say enough stuff. And again, Joe, thank you so much for what all you guys do to put these events on.
Of course.
We truly appreciate it, all of us. I can speak on behalf of my company, my country, and let you know that we do. We appreciate everything you guys do there for putting these together and allowing all of us to come together and share and learn and just celebrate one another the way that this event does.
That's why when you see Bill cut loose, you know that everything's cool.
Oh yeah,
it was good.
I liked that you separated the 40 under 40, meaning there's the dealer space, and then we had the regular 40 under 40. I thought that was really good, and hopefully, maybe this will be Jay. This will be a little shout out to anybody listening that's a dealer that you want to nominate one of your coworkers, so to speak. It would be great to have more in that dealer space as far as winning the awards. That's what I'd like to see next year.
Absolutely.
Can we have a sensational under 60 maybe, or fabulous at 50? I mean,
that has come up.
We don't need to cut it off at 40. Okay.
80 over 80.
I will say there's
not that many left.
There was a dealer from a large group that did say to me, Pam, when are they going to have 60 under 60? I mean, then I would actually have a chance. So to your point, Michelle, yes, there's others that would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I've got a quick question. I don't know where we're at on time. How are we on time, Jay?
We're good. I mean, we got a few minutes, I think.
Okay. Well, so just curious, does anybody want to make from the conference? Okay, I went, I learned a lot, I met a lot. It's really cool. But from a business perspective, going into Q1 for 2023, does anybody walk away and think, wow, I learned a lot. This is going to help me pivot. This is going to help me. What can you give the audience that's listening now? Because we really ramp these things up. And I know we all came away with something. And we're all here. We're all business. And Michelle said it. Everybody said it. We are competition. But at the same time, we're all trying to figure out what's next. So I know there's a pretty wide variety of people watching this channel, from car hauler guys to dispatchers to dealers to auctions. what does anybody want to speak to what they're looking at for say Q1 2023? Is that a fair question?
Well, why don't you you take what Alex from Black Book said, and we don't have the graphic representation. Could have scanned the QR. And I think those are available. Joe, recaps, those are available. Those guys had it mapped out through 2025. So it's another big takeaway. I didn't write it down, but there are some analytical thinkers that are not looking at the next 3 or 4 months. You got to buckle up for the next 2 or 3 years. So I would look at what Alex at Black Book said, Cox, and they touched on it as well. Mannheim touched on it as well. So I think, I don't know, Ty, if that answers it, but I think you got to look a little bit further down the road. The volumes of cars that are available to the transporters or to the auctions. Hey, let's face it, the math is the math. They're not going to be there right now, right? The other big thing was, how many of the vendors there were turning around and looking out onto the street to buy cars from the individual. Okay, 2016, 17, 18, we talked about this before, right? Those are very prodigious retail years. There's millions of cars out there being driven around. The dealer's the customer now. They've got to go out and buy cars. It's the other way around. So I think there's not a shortage of cars. It's the paradigm is shifting. And I think going through the next quarter, the next half year, in through the end of 2024, 2025, I think we just have to broaden our horizons a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll touch on one thing that you said, Will, to kind of continue that part of the conversation. What I'm thinking, and again, if you looked at some of the things, whether it's the workshop or some of the panels, you had dealers, you also had some vendors discussing, consumer vehicles and the acquisition side of that. So that you had VinQ that brought up, the buying centers. So between all these different things that happened throughout the week, there was a common theme, and it's, how are we going to acquire more vehicles from the consumer? Nate Myers spoke about it very, very in depth with, how he's using it with ACV. So there's lots of things out there right now as to how you can do it. How many of the groups and dealers are doing it is really to be seen, and who's doing it great, where it's actually a great buying experience for that consumer, as well as for the dealer, making sure that they have the right tools. So I think right now that to me, that was the common theme that I heard, whether it was some of the panels, Joe, that you were handling, and then some of the workshops that we heard. So just another take on it.
And I think some of those, a couple of those workshops that talked about buying cars from the public, I mean, they were jam packed. Like we totally underestimated how many people would be in those rooms. I mean, they were full to the brims, which was.
It is funny. You're right, and you just you can have a drinking from the fire hose track. So if you are ready for. Some of those rooms.
I said to Joe it was Thursday night at the cocktail hour. Do you remember me telling you? I said the only negative was some of those workshop rooms we couldn't fit another chair in. There was just no more room. Yeah. But how do you know who's going to go to what session? We have no idea. So it's kind of that crapshoot of some of those could have actually been in the larger rooms. We didn't know.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a bit of a guessing game. It's a bit of kind of using, we would like to think that what works in what was the most popular session in 2022 is going to be the most popular session in 2023, but who knows what's going to happen between now and then. There could be another topic that kind of shifts and grabs people's attention. So
we may have to have a whole room just for Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, real quick though, Pamela, so this is interesting because these are thoughts that I have. I'm like, okay, I was at the Buy Here, Pay Here Super Forum. Tom Contos is on the stage and he's saying, auction inventory today is down 30%. And then my brain starts thinking about VinQ. I mean, I don't know why I can't get these guys out of my head. Then I learn what Dealers Link is, right? So going to these conferences, I'm learning this stuff. And then I learn VBC, Vehicle Buying Center. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if I'm an auction or an online auction, what am I thinking? What am I doing? There's got to be angles, right? I mean, we're all rolling up our sleeves. We're all getting out there. We're all making connections and relationships. And it seems like, I mean, it feels to me, from my experience as a transporter with auction to dealer, used car only, there's really this war on what I grew my business on, the physical brick and mortar auction. And so it's like, if I'm building any kind of a, I don't know, an ancillary service provider for a dealer, for an auction, I mean, I've really got to keep my ears open because there's so much going on. Is that fair to say?
I would say it's fair to say. And I think to Will's point, it's, we're going to have to be very strategic for the next, maybe it's the next 18 months to 2 years as to how we're going to do what we need to do. So, if you're one of those that are going to be involved in the at-home inspection side of things, you may want to be a carrier that has a one car hauler, because you may need to be going to Main Street, right down, somebody's home address to pick up a car versus it just being at a dealership, right? So there's going to be some things that are going to be a little bit different on how we conduct business moving forward. Yeah.
Good answer. I love that. That's great. Those are some of the things we talk about.
Well, we talked about a couple of these things last week, Ty.
I know.
But there's no confessions tonight, right, Jay?
Yeah, but this is for TV. I mean, we're live,
That's true.
Cameras are rolling.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's just somewhere in here, and like Joe, you got to bring this back, and chewing this. It's like we're bumping up against when we reach out to the public to make an offer for their car. Where do we start crossing the line about educating the public as to what the wholesale value of the car is, right? So, and I think we're getting close to that. You got to be careful. And I'm not going to name names, but there were some SAS type providers that came in 10, 12 years ago that really drove retail prices down by making your car more attractive online. What happened to the gross profitability of dealerships? What everybody signed on, right? So now we're going to go out into the street and tell everybody what their car is worth, right? They're going to go to your competitor and say, wait a minute, I've got an offer for my car for this. So I think somewhere in there we're starting to bump up against letting too much a light on the wholesale, the actual cash value of the trade-in. You make money when you buy a car. That's a constant across both platforms, digital and brick and mortar. So I think the industry's got to be a little bit careful there. I'll just say, I bet anybody a coffee right now. I bet you that comes up in the next year or so. Are we giving the public too much information in terms of what the ACVs in these cars are? I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that.
Interesting. Well,
Nice.
when you count the number of solutions that a consumer can access to get a value and get their car bought and sold, I mean, it's pretty wild. That's a tough competition.
Yeah.
Carriers think they have too many apps. My goodness.
13 carriers, Michelle, right? How many? 13.
13.
Woo!
13
That was a lot.
logistics companies.
And nobody
in the
showed,
expo
so
hall.
it was a good show.
Hey, there we go. Joe, do you know how many exhibitors there were in the expo hall? Is it 40?
I did a count just before the con. I believe there was around, I want to say like 4 dozen. So
4 dozen. Okay, yeah. Okay, there we go.
you're
So
talking about
maybe
a quarter
50.
of
I know,
a quarter of the
That's
expo.
wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big space.
I know. It's neat. It's really neat. So it's fun
Yeah.
for us. I mean,
Good.
we're like kids in the candy store.
Yeah, half the time we're scared. And I'm like, Jay, no, calm down. You got to slow down because these people don't know you. It's okay. Just slow. Jay and I are running up to people like, oh my God, it's Tommy.
Go
Tony,
get your
what was
ELD
it,
punch,
Tony?
Jay. You're freaking them out.
Scaring the kids. But no, we really do. Joe, thank you so much. And,
Of course.
I mean, just amazing. You guys are always so good to us. Thank you. Means a
Yeah,
lot.
Absolutely.
Another round for Cherokee Media Auto Remarketing Hall. I mean, it really is amazing. I mean, and that's why I wanted to have this show tonight. I mean, I wanted just one more swipe at it before I, fill up on tryptophan.
We're going to be doing FinTech pretty quick.
That's right.
Fintech.
Yeah,
So
it'll
that's
be
April?
April
18th through 20th in Raleigh, the Auto Intel Summit. Yep.
18 through 20, Raleigh. That's a good one, guys.
Those
Good
are
network.
some of our roots. When we
Yeah,
first
yeah.
started to break out of our vertical, we were at FinTech. We're at Auto Intel Summit. We're like, I think it took us a day to find out what FinTech was.
We're learning. We're learning.
Yeah. Well,
It's good
that's
stuff.
and we say that too because we know. I know there's somebody watching right now going, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's like, what's Navicon? I figured that one out. I mean, it's like, what was that one? You know.
It's good.
So-
It's education, it's relationship, and it's a lot of just getting more and more. So we want to encourage anybody that's watching this. I do. I've really benefited from these relationships in more ways than anybody can understand. It would take me 2 hours to explain it, but there's a lot of value here with what we're doing. There's a lot of value here with these relationships with a guy like Joe, Pam, Will, Michelle. I'm just telling you, for your business and moving forward, now's a great time. You know, I always refer to Jason Rice at Lot Pop. How do you like that, Jay?
Hey, there you go. There's no S.
Jason Rice at Lot Pop. Last time I was at the office on a Friday, we did a quick run around Friday, Cars on the Move. He's telling us, show's over. Hey, Jason, how's business? I'm just curious. Man, it's going like crazy. I'm like, really? The year, week over week, these used cars are dropping and this is your customer? He's like, when things get a little squirrely, people start searching for answers. He said, we're busy. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that statement. So if anybody's out there, you're struggling, you're trying to figure out which way to go, auction, dealer, tech company, carrier guy, I'm not saying we have the answer, but if you can see on this panel right here, we know a lot of people. And if we don't have the answer, we can certainly help you get the answer. Okay?
And you know,
417-483.
2764. Say it again.
417-483-2764.
That is
Call me
Ty's
anytime.
Cell phone 417-483. I'm gonna type it in. I mean, I wake up.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, I'm writing to get that. But this is the
Write
thing,
it
and
down.
I made a joke once. A podcast would be Trade Show Therapy Group. Actually, that's a brilliant idea. Of course, it's mine. But the thing is that because you let's say you book your ticket and you've packed your bag and suddenly you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do because I've never been there. Well, we are the people to ask. We want to help. We really
I can
do.
tell you what to pack.
Yeah, we'll tell
I
you.
figured that part out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like it took me 4 conferences to figure out you only need a small bag. It's easy, right?
What?
Yeah. Okay.
Joe can probably do it. Yeah. Call me.
I
No, I'm
got down from 2 suitcases to 1. I was super impressed.
That is
so.
awesome. Yeah.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah, that's when you
All
know
right.
you're ready to go. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I just want to say again, Joe Overby, Pamela Patton, Will Morris, Michelle Hutchinson, thank you so very much for taking the time and allowing us to get one more look before we close the book on Used Car Week 2022. I love that conference. Thank you. I know.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy
Go eat a bunch of
Thanksgiving.
food.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hey, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
All right, take care. All right, so here we go. I'm ending the meeting, and that is it. Goodbye, good night, and happy turkey to everybody. Okay, so we're serious about trade shows. We keep on talking about them. We're just going to keep on talking about them. So if you don't like trade shows, dang it. But we do have plenty of other shows and programming. There is so much to it. Because you're right, we get back down to the granular, and I try to sprinkle that in the industry news. That yes, we have roots in transportation, but we now acknowledge the full automotive ecosystem. Because why are you hauling that car? If you go a full week and you never ask why am I hauling that car, I mean you can, but you're probably just booking off the load boards. When you start to ask why that car is being hauled from that pickup to that delivery at that rate, and that customer is calling me, and you start putting the pieces together, now you're on the trail towards getting to an automotive trade show. And that's what we're really talking about, is we want everybody to understand how the market works, why it's working the way it is. And then when you go for your customer, your next customer, and you start growing your business, you can talk to them, because now you understand the mechanics of the marketplace. But, I know, taking it from a guy sitting in a chair, doesn't drive a truck, I realize that. I'll take my lumps. But I do want to say this, I really appreciate, once again, Cherokee Media, Auto Remarketing, Joe Overby, Pamela Patton, Michelle Hutchinson, Will Morris. I love the people that we get to meet and see at these shows. They're like family. It was really hard to say goodbye when I was leaving. Man, this is hard. I mean, and it should just be like a business trade show, but like, I really did love it. So, I don't know. That's wild stuff. It's people and it's business. I also want to thank Preowned Auto Logistics, Rapid Recon, Superflow Systems, McCollister's Transportation Group, Ship Your Car Now, everybody in the live chat. Mark, thanks for that super chat. Again, I really appreciate it. Superflow Systems in the house. If you've got a question, if you want to be on a show, if you want to send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Let me know how we can help. Now, go get your ELD turkey. This is an old standby. And, you know, there's so much happening. There's no more shows the rest of the week. Taking the rest of the week off. Actually, I got a ton of work to do. I got to process videos and all this stuff. I don't even have a show next Tuesday night. I got to put that together. So there's just a lot going on. But we got a full week next week. Dispatching Live is back next Thursday. Live Carrier Advice is back next Wednesday. We're going to be back on next Friday with Cars on the Move. What is it? Are you a carrier? Can a carrier be the broker? That's it. Can a carrier be the broker? So much programming here on Automotive. Automotive, whatever. ATI Auto Business. Thank you guys so much. It's time for me to hit it and get ready for the turkey and the ham and all the stuff. Here comes the car hauler. I really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Peace out, everybody. Thank you.